Welcome students. In this video we are going to see the next gas welding techniques, that is we will talk about the air acetylene welding. So this air acetylene welding, now basically this air acetylene welding is used for the low temperature melting point materials like lead, tin, zinc, cadmium, etc. Okay, now here we know the reaction of the oxyacetylene gas welding. Okay, what is the reaction? That is this C2H2 plus O2 will get twice CO plus H2 plus heat. Then we are getting this twice CO plus O2, it will get us twice CO2 plus heat and half, and H2 plus half O2 will get the water at the end and heat. Now as in the oxyacetylene welding, what we have seen that out of this 2.5 unit volume of oxygen, the 1 unit volume of oxygen is taken from the oxygen cylinder, and remaining 1.5 unit volume of oxygen is taken from the atmosphere. Now in air acetylene welding, what we are going to do, we are going to remove the oxygen cylinder, and whatever the oxygen required for complete burning of acetylene is taken from atmosphere. Okay, so here the oxygen cylinder is removed and whatever oxygen required for the burning of acetylene is taken from the atmosphere. That is why the name of this gas welding technique is air acetylene gas welding technique. Okay, so the principle of burning of flame is simple as the Bunsen principle, which is mostly happen in the LPG burning, and the process is basically used for the heat source. It was used as a heat source for the soldering operation. Okay, so the air acetylene is nothing but you remove the oxygen cylinder, whatever the oxygen required to burn the acetylene take from the atmosphere. You will call this process as air acetylene welding technique. Now the technique is basically used for the low temperature or low melting point temperature materials like lead, tin, zinc, cadmium, etc. And this welding technique was used as the heat source for the soldering operation. So this was about the air acetylene welding. Please remember that nowadays for the soldering and the brazing operations we are having the furnace brazing is there, induction brazing is there, deep brazing is there. So we are having the resistance heating for the soldering or brazing or the furnace heating. Okay, so it was the application of air acetylene welding in the soldering, very old procedure. Okay, so this is about the air acetylene welding. Now the second welding we are having is after air acetylene, the oxyhydrogen welding. So I can write some points about this. So air acetylene, so burning principle is what? Bunsen burner like LPG, it is burned like LPG. Then so used for low melting point temperature materials like lead, tin, zinc, cadmium, etc. tin SN. Okay, and it was used as in the old days heat source for soldering, heat source for soldering operation. Okay, so this is the air acetylene. Now come to the oxyhydrogen welding, that is oxyhydrogen welding. You take the last reaction, H2 plus half O2, you will get H2O plus heat. Okay, and see, if you have the maximum temperature of this flame of oxyhydrogen, it is around 2875 degree centigrade, and if you see the average temperature of this oxyhydrogen welding is around 700 to 900 degree centigrade. So again, this oxyhydrogen welding technique is also suitable for welding of the low temperature, low melting point temperature materials, again like lead, tin, zinc and cadmium. Maximum temperature of the flame is 2875 degree centigrade, whereas the average temperature of the flame is around 700 to 900 degree centigrade. And this oxyhydrogen welding was very popular heat source for the process called as brazing. This was a very popular heat source for brazing operation. This was popular heat source for brazing operation. Again, it is suitable for low melting point temperature materials. Okay, so this is about air acetylene welding and oxyhydrogen welding technique. Now in the gas welding we are having the last classification is atomic hydrogen welding. Is the atomic hydrogen. So see here, in atomic welding, again we are using here the non-consumable electrode. Here the tungsten is the electrode here. These are two tungsten electrode which are non-consumable electrode. Now see here, when the power supply is given to this tungsten electrode, the arc or arc fan is going to generate at the tip of the electrodes. Okay, now with this help of the arc fan, what we are going to get? We are going to melt the slag for this molten material, and when, because of this temperature, because of this high temperature, we are here supplying the hydrogen into this arc frame. Okay, so when the molecular hydrogen is supplied into this arc fan, what happened? The molecular hydrogen is going to disintegrate into the arc fan as the atomic hydrogen. Okay, so because of this, the endothermic reaction is going to happen. So for that reason only, the arc fan is producing the heat where it can supply the heat to the endothermic reaction. Okay, so when this hydrogen, molecular hydrogen is coming into this arc fan, so it is get converted into atomic hydrogen. Okay, now students, the last category in this gas welding technique that we are going to see is that the atomic hydrogen welding. The atomic hydrogen welding. So dear students, this is a kind of special welding technique where we are also having the arc or we are also having the gas supply, isn't it? So anywhere you can learn this topic as in the arc welding or in the gas welding or as a special welding category. But here see, because hydrogen is used here as the gas, we can take this atomic hydrogen welding in the gas welding technique. So no any issues. See, basically this atomic hydrogen welding is the arc, shielding arc gas welding technique. Okay, so why? Because here the hydrogen is acting as the shield over the weld. Now here we are using the tungsten as a non-consumable electrodes, but we are using two numbers of tungsten electrode. So in arc welding, basically we are having one tungsten electrode and the arc is created between the tungsten electrode and the workpiece. But here there are two non-consumable tungsten electrodes we are using, and the arc is produced between the tip of these two tungsten electrodes. Okay, so let us see. These are the two tungsten electrodes I have taken, and the arc is going to generate at the tip of the electrode. Okay, and here the power supply is given. Generally the voltage from 50 to 75 volts, and the current is ranging from 15 to 150 ampere is used. Okay, so these are the tungsten electrode, can be diameter ranging from 1 to 5 millimeter we are using here. Okay, now this is our weld. This is the shielding of hydrogen gas because we are going to supply the hydrogen. Okay, and this is the frame of the tungsten electrode. And this is also tungsten electrode which are non-consumable. Okay, so here these are the non-consumable tungsten electrode. This is the frame, this is the hydrogen supply, this is the hydrogen supply. Okay, this is our molten metal pool. Okay, so this is the arc or arc fan, you can say arc or arc fan. So when the power supply is given, what is happened? At the tip of the electrode the arc is going to generate, and in this arc what we are going to supply? We are going to supply the hydrogen in this arc. So because of the temperature or heat of this arc fan, here in the arc this hydrogen, which is molecular hydrogen, is getting disintegrated into the atomic hydrogen. Okay, so because of the heat or energy at this tip of the electrode, that is in the arc, what happened? We are supplying the hydrogen, molecular hydrogen, which is get disintegrated into these two H plus atomic hydrogen. Okay, so this is actually the endothermic reaction. Now this atomic hydrogen at this, it is very highly unstable gas. Yes or no? This atomic hydrogen is highly unstable gas. So what will happen? It is tried to either combine with the oxygen, or it is converting into again the molecular hydrogen, and when combining it is producing the intense heat. It is producing the intense heat, that is it is H plus. This H plus is gives H2, which is the molecular hydrogen. So this is producing an intense heat, and that heat is used for the melting of the material and joining of the material. So this reaction is the exothermic reaction. This reaction is the exothermic reaction, where the highly unstable atomic hydrogen get converted into the molecular hydrogen, and the first reaction was where this molecular hydrogen getting disintegrated into the atomic hydrogen. It is the endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction. Okay, so basically this energy, actually this exothermic energy, we are utilizing into the melting or joining of the material, isn't it? Now apart from this, so near about 1/3 of hydrogen is taken from this hydrogen supply, and it is melted by using the oxygen. Okay, and that heat again we can supply into the welding operation. Okay, and left over around 2/3 of hydrogen which is going away from this weld pool, and it is act like a shield. It is acting like a shield of the inert gas over the weld bed and protecting this weld pool from any atmospheric contamination. Okay, please remember, in addition to this, 1/3 of hydrogen atom, 1/3 of hydrogen is taken from this hydrogen supply, and we are burning that or melting that hydrogen. Okay, and this heat we are also getting utilized into this weld, and remaining 2/3 of remaining 2/3 of hydrogen which is getting away from this welding zone and creating a shield. Okay, creating a shield so that there will not be any atmospheric contamination can enter into the weld pool. Okay, so this is about the atomic hydrogen welding technique, which is specifically made for the welding of highly reactive materials like aluminum and magnesium. This technique is also suitable for welding of the stainless steel also. Understood? So this is about atomic hydrogen welding technique. So please students, in this way we have learned about the gas welding technique in details. See, we learned about the basic things like welding techniques, the positions, we learned about the fluxes, we learned about the filler rods, then we learned about the oxyacetylene welding. In that we learned various kinds of flames used. Then we have learned air acetylene welding, oxyhydrogen welding, and at the last we have learned about the atomic hydrogen welding. Okay, so here our gas welding portion is completed. Thank you.